Have you ever looked into your cat's eyes and wondered what chaos they're about to unleash? Because that's exactly what happened to me 3 years ago when I found Shadow hiding under a dumpster in the rain. Let me set the scene for you. It was a cold October evening, and I was taking out the trash after a long day at work. That's when I heard it. This tiny, desperate meow coming from somewhere in the darkness. Now, I'd walked past that dumpster 100 times before, but this time something made me stop. Something made me look closer. And there she was, a ball of wet, matted black fur with these huge green eyes staring up at me like she'd been waiting for me her entire life. She was so small, so fragile that I could feel her tiny heartbeat racing against my palm when I picked her up. But here's the thing. Even soaking wet and terrified, she didn't scratch me. She didn't fight. She just looked at me with those eyes and chose me. If you've ever felt chosen by an animal, hit that subscribe button because you're going to love where this story goes. I wrapped her in my jacket and rushed home, my mind racing with all the things I needed to do, get her warm, get her fed, find out if she belonged to someone. But when I set her down on my bathroom floor and she immediately started purring, this deep, rumbling sound that seemed way too big for such a tiny creature, I already knew the truth. She wasn't going anywhere, and neither was I.
The first night, Shadow slept on my chest. I barely slept at all because I was terrified I'd roll over and hurt her. But every time I opened my eyes, she was there. Those green eyes glowing in the dark, watching me, protecting me, maybe, or just making sure I didn't disappear. But here's where things got interesting. As soon as Shadow realized she was safe, her true personality exploded like a firework. That scared, fragile kitten I'd found, gone. In her place was this absolute maniac who seemed determined to turn my quiet apartment into her personal chaos kingdom. She didn't walk, she sprinted. Every surface became a launch pad. The kitchen counter, landing zone. The bookshelf, climbing wall. My shoulder at 3 a.m., her favorite perch, apparently. And if I tried to move her, she'd give me this look like, really? After everything we've been through? Now, if you're a cat owner, you know what I'm talking about. Drop a comment and tell me, does your cat also believe they own you? The zoomies were legendary. You haven't lived until you've been woken up at 2:47 a.m. by the sound of a black, fluffy tornado racing through your apartment, knocking over everything in its path, only to jump on your bed and stare at you like, what? I'm just exercising.
But Shadow's most impressive talent? Her timing. She had this supernatural ability to know exactly when I was on an important work call. I'd be in the middle of a serious conversation with my boss, and suddenly Shadow would appear on my desk, walk directly across my keyboard, and sit on my mouse. Not near it, on it, while maintaining eye contact with me through the camera. My coworkers thought it was hilarious. I tried to be annoyed, but how can you stay mad at a fluffy black cloud with eyes that seem to say, I'm not sorry, and I'll do it again? Then there were the gifts. Oh, the gifts. Shadow became an expert hunter of my hair ties. Every morning, I'd wake up to find at least 3 hair ties arranged in a perfect line outside my bedroom door. At first, I thought it was cute. Then I realized she'd been stealing them from my bathroom drawer, and I had to start hiding them like they were precious jewels. One night, around the 6-month mark, something changed. I was having a really rough day, the kind where everything goes wrong and you just want to hide under a blanket and pretend the world doesn't exist. I was sitting on my couch, probably looking as miserable as I felt, when Shadow did something she'd never done before. She climbed into my lap, curled into a perfect black circle, and just stayed. No zoomies, no chaos, no stealing my hair ties. She just purred and pressed her head against my chest, right over my heart. And in that moment, I understood something. All the chaos, all the 3 a.m. sprints, all the work call interruptions, they weren't just random acts of feline madness. They were her way of saying, I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm reminding you to be alive too. Shadow taught me that life doesn't have to be quiet to be beautiful, that sometimes the best moments are the chaotic ones, that being loved by something wild is a privilege, not a problem. These days, Shadow is 3 years old and still gloriously insane. She still does zoomies at 2 a.m., sometimes even more enthusiastically than before. She still steals my hair ties, and I've learned to just buy them in bulk now. She still crashes my work calls, and honestly, my coworkers would be disappointed if she didn't make an appearance. But something shifted over the years. Now, when she curls up on my chest at night, both of us a little older and a little more settled, there's this perfect understanding between us. Her purr has become the soundtrack to my peace. Her chaos has become my comfort. I can't imagine my life without her midnight concerts, her surprise attacks on my feet, or the way she stares at me while knocking things off the counter, maintaining full eye contact like a tiny, fluffy criminal. People always ask me, don't you wish she was calmer, more normal? And I always say the same thing. No, absolutely not. Because Shadow isn't just my cat. She's my reminder that being fully yourself, messy, chaotic, wild, and free is the only way to really live. She's proof that the best things in life are never perfect. They're real. Every time she races through the apartment at 3 a.m., every time she interrupts my work with her dramatic entrance, every time she chooses my lap over literally anywhere else in the house, she's teaching me something. She's teaching me that joy doesn't follow rules, that love isn't quiet or convenient, that the most beautiful relationships are the ones where you're completely, unapologetically yourself. So here's my question for you. Would you trade your pet's quirks for a perfect pet? Or are those weird, chaotic moments exactly what makes them irreplaceable? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd love to hear your stories. Does your cat also believe they're training you instead of the other way around? If Shadow's story made you smile, or if it reminded you of your own furry chaos creator, hit that like button and subscribe for more heartwarming pet tales. Because trust me, this fluffy black menace has plenty more stories to tell. And knowing Shadow, she'll probably crash this recording any second now to make sure you know she's the real star here.